Ẹ káàsán yẹn lẹ́gbẹ́ mi. Ẹ jẹ́ kí a gba àdúrà. Ọlọ́run ọba alágbára jùlọ, ẹlẹ́dàá àti alákòóso ayé òun ọ̀run. Àwa ń bẹ̀ yín wípé kí ẹ wá ṣe amọ̀nà wa, kí àwa bá lè máa rìn ní ọ̀nà òtítọ́ pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ àti àánú sí ara wa. Ẹ wá fún wa ní oore ọ̀fẹ́ yín, kí àwa lè máa ṣe gbogbo ohun tí yóò mú ìgbéga, ìṣọ̀kan, ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀, ìdùnnú àti àlékún àìsíkì orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lápapọ̀ àti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ní pàápàá. Àmín. Yeah, okay. Olórí ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ tó pọ̀ jùlọ.
Olùdarí, mo kí gbogbo wa pé àkàsàn. Mo fẹ́ dá lábàá wípé ká so ẹsẹ̀ òfin tí ó gbà wá láyè láti sọ èdè abínibí lénìí, ká so ẹsẹ̀ òfin náà rò, nítorí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ iṣẹ́ àgbéṣẹ́ṣe tá a ní lénìí èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì la fi kọ́. A dẹ̀ tún ní àwọn nǹkan míì náà tá a máa gbé ṣe tó yẹ pé èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì la fi kọ́. Ààyè ò gbà wá láti ṣe ẹ̀dà àwọn nǹkan náà sí èdè Yorùbá. Ní ìdí èyí, mo tọrọ àforíjì lọ́wọ́ àwọn ẹlẹgbẹ́ mi láti dábàá pé ká so ẹsẹ̀ òfin tó kàn nípa fún wa láti to èdè Yorùbá lénìí ká so kọ́. Mo dá lábàá.
Aṣòfin Surajudeen.
Ẹ ṣé olùdarí, mo dìde láti kí àbá náà lẹ́yìn.
Aṣòfin Ganiu Ọ̀kúnláwọ̀n Sanni.
Mo kí olùdarí àti gbogbo ilé. Mo ṣàkíyèsí pé ó yẹ kí a kọ́kọ́ yẹ ìwé àkọsílẹ̀ ìpàdé tó kọjá kí a dẹ̀ gbà wọlé kó tó di pé a bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò. Àkíyèsí mi ní ẹ̀sà.
Ẹ ṣé olùdarí. Aṣòfin Ọ̀kánláwọn, ẹ ṣé pẹ̀lú àkíyèsí, àmọ́ fún àwọn ìdí tí ẹ máa rí láìpẹ́ yìí, ẹ jẹ́ kí a máa bá ètò lọ ká wo ohun tí olórí ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ tó pọ̀ jù lọ sọ. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá fara mọ́ ẹ sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ẹni tí ò bá fara mọ́ kó sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. Àwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni lọ́pọ̀ jùlọ. Approval of votes and proceedings, page 336. (337). (339). Approval is ever given to the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 1st June 2021. Messages from the Governor.
The Right Honorable Speaker, sir, distinguished honorable members, there is no message from the Governor.
Other announcements.
Yes, sir. We received 2 letters, one from the National Assembly and the other from Conrad Admiral Steve Tong, a German organization that is noted for building capacity of legislature across Africa. With your kind permission, sir, I read the letter from the National Assembly. Thank you very much, sir.
Please go ahead.
The letter is addressed to the Right Honorable Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, Ikeja. Notice to attend the meetings of the Forum of Clerks of National Legislature, FOCOM, and the Conference of Presiding Officers of Nigerian Legislature, COPON. I have the pleasure to inform you that the President of the Senate and the Speaker, House of Representatives, approves that the above meeting be held on the 1st of July to the 4th of July 2021. However, the theme of the meeting, as earlier communicated to you, has been reviewed by the presiding officers to be public perception of the legislature, post-legislative scrutiny, and the independence of the legislature. Signed, Elder Felix Orunwense, Secretary, Interparliamentary Relations and Protocol, Chairman, Planning Committee for the Clerk of National Assembly. The second letter, sir, also addressed to the Right Honorable Speaker, entitled, Invitation to a 2-day training workshop for Lagos State House of Assembly at Ogere Resort, Ogere Remo, Ogun State. Dear Right Honorable Speaker, we want to start by thanking you for participating in the last planning workshop for speakers of partner state houses of assembly in Abuja on February 11, 2021. I wish to inform you that this organization and the National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies suggest organizing a 2-day training workshop for all the members of Lagos State House of Assembly at Ogere Resort in Ogere Remo on June 17 to 18th, 2021, to which you are hereby respectfully invited. I hereby wish to also invite the Clerk of the House, Director of Legal Drafting and Legislative Matters, and another director to accompany the members to this training. I will suggest the list of participants be sent to us. The arrival date of all members of the Lagos State Assembly in Ogere Resort, Wednesday, June 16, late afternoon, and departure is Saturday, June 19, 2021. Signed by Frida Mayor Craig, country representatives. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, the clerk. Petition?
Right Honorable Speaker, sir, there is none.
Matter of urgent public importance. None has been brought to my notice. Personal explanations. Reports. Honorable Makinde, do you have anything? No. Okay. Business of the day. The majority leader. We are at a laying of reports. Oh. Can I invite Honorable Makinde Ariel to lay a report?
Good afternoon, the Right Honorable Speaker, my distinguished colleagues. I stand before you this afternoon to lay a report on the committee on real estate transaction in Lagos State and other connected purposes.
Can I invite Honorable Victor AKANDE? Honorable AKANDE, you have 2 reports to lay.
The Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, good afternoon. I'm here to lay 2 reports. The first being a petition titled Complaint Against S.O. OMOLE Mrs., the marriage registrar of ETI-OSA local government, IKOYI OBALENDE local council development area, on the issuance of invalid certified true copy of marriage certificate to Mrs. Philomina Lamina by LABI-LAWAL and Co. Isolate.
Thank you.
The second is a petition titled Continued Unlawful Occupation and Conversion of 4.0606 hectares of land of Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE OGUNKOYA, near AFRICANUS Williams, laying, situate and being at OLOWOSOKEDILE village off Iju Road, IFAKO local government area, Lagos State, by Mr. ADEYINKA and his Lagos State Government Agricultural Land Holdings Authority, an incessant threat and harassment over sale, plea for intervention and redress by GT OGUNKOYA Chambers. Isolate.
Thank you. Presentation of reports. Majority Leader.
Honorable Akande, please come. Please come.
The second one.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to request that the other paper be amended in view of some technical issues to warrant that item number 1 is stepped down till another day as requested by the chairman of the committee. And that also to move item number 3 in the other paper to item number 1, while item number 2 becomes item number 2. So my prayer is to step down item number 1, move item 3 to 1, and 2 remain as 2. This is in consultation with the chairman of the affected committee. As we move.
Honorable Tom, I guess.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion as moved by the majority leader.
Those in favor say yes. Those who against say nay. The ayes have it.
Further to my earlier motion, which has been seconded, I wish to move further that to take the presentation of the Chairman House Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights, Public Petition and LASIEC, Honorable Akande, in respect of the report on a petition on continued unlawful occupation and conversion of 4.606 hectares of land. I wish to move that the House dissolve to Committee of the Whole. As we move.
Who has the right? Honorable Richard Kasson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion as moved.
Those who are in favor say yea. Those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. Majority. Honorable Victor, you ready?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the report is an offshoot of a report that were presented in late 2019, report of the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights, Public Petitions, and ASHAKE on a petition titled Unlawful Claim of Land Belonging to Mrs. Cynthia Okumedia Atepe by Agricultural Land Holdings Authority of Lagos State, a parastatal of the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture, using the Lagos State Building Control Agency by Adebari Mubarak. This led to the other petition from Barrister GT, and that is why we treated it separately. Now, sir, report of the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights, Public Petitions, and ASHAKE on a petition on continued unlawful occupation and conversion of 4.606 hectares in bracket 11.383 acres of land of Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE OGUNKOYA ní AFRICANUS Williams, lying, situate, and being at OLOWOSOKEDILE village off Iju Road, IFAKO IJAIYE, local government area, Lagos State, by Mr. ADEYINKA and his Lagos State Government Agricultural Land Holdings Authority, an incessant threat and harassment overseeing, plea for intervention and redress by GT Ogunye Chambers. Preamble. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, you will recall that the report of the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights, Public Petition, and ASHAKE on the above stated petition was presented and deliberated upon at the plenary session of Tuesday, 2nd June 2020, where it deferred the committee's recommendation as the resolution of the House. The House thereafter directed that the committee to further look into some gray areas with particular reference to the confirmation of ownership of the land claimed to have been procured by the petitioner, for which regularization was being sought, and to report its findings accordingly. Cross of the matter. Barrister GT Ogunye, counsel to Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE ní AFRICANUS Williams. The petitioner alleged that the Agricultural Land Holdings Authority, under Mr. Adetunji Omiri, the then General Manager, unlawfully occupied a parcel of land measuring 4.606 hectares belonging to his client at Olowosokedile village, Iju Road, IFAKO IJAIYE, amidst threats, harassment, and with the aid of armed personnel. He sought the intervention of the House to prevail on the Allah for the release of the land in question to the rightful owner. Mr. Speaker, sir, may I seek your permission to move to 2.0, submission.
Granted.
Thank you, sir. 2.1, Engineer Balogun AO, HOD Operations / Special Duty of Agric Land Holdings Authority, who spoke on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, informed that a total parcel of 364 hectares of land was revoked and gazetted in 1978 by the Lagos State Government, including the land in question. He added that the sum of 12,740 naira was paid to Nelson Co. family on the same contentious land in 1992. During the administration of Sir Michael Agbolade Otedola as the governor of Lagos State, on the directive of the committee, Engineer Balogun read the contents of the document emanated from the Office of Surveyor General dated 11th May 2020, which affirmed that the land in question falls within a Iju Road Junction acquisition, which is the area of regularization, and alluded to the fact that the status of such acquisition can be regularized by the original owner. See Annex 1. In the same vein, he read the content of another correspondence from the Office of the Surveyor General dated 21st May 2012, which affirmed that the land has no any commitment and equally agreed that any land without commitment can be returned to the rightful owner. See Annexure 2. 3.2. Barrister G.T. Ogunkoya, solicitor to Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE OGUNKOYA, NEE AFRICANUS Williams. The petitioner stated that his client is...
Sorry. 2.1, then you went to 3.2. I guess that's just a typo.
It's a typo error, sir.
Yes. 2.2 and continue amending them.
Thank you, sir. 2.2, sir. Barrister G.T. Ogunkoya, solicitor to Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE OGUNKOYA, NEE AFRICANUS Williams. The petitioner stated that his client is the beneficial owner of the land in question, measuring 4.606 hectares, about 11.383 acres. He posted that the said portion was part of a large expanse of land originally purchased by the deceased father in person of late Henry Africanus Williams from Josiah Alfred Savage on 30th January 1917. He further posted that other children of Henry Africanus Williams, who were also beneficial owners, have sold and developed several portions of the land accrued to them, leaving only the 4.606 hectares belonging to Mrs. ASHAKE OGUNKOYA. He recalled that the government was making use of the said land during the military era until the rightful owner decided to take possession of a property when Agric Land Holdings Authority under Mr. OMOLE rose up with frivolous claims that the property belongs to the government. He added that several pleas and representation with relevant documents on proof of ownership made to Agric Land Holding Authority proved abortive. He concluded by presenting other documents like the deed of partition dated 28th September 2010 between Felicia Iyabo Adeliyi, Helen Ajoke Gbogbo Ade, and ASHAKE OGUNKOYA as further proof of ownership of the land. See Annexure 3. Surveyor Adebukola AA, Director Office of the Surveyor General, confirmed the authenticity of the two correspondence dated 11th May 2020 and 21st May 2012 from his office on the status of the land. He affirmed that the land can be regularized by the rightful owner and that the land has no dedicated commitment by the government. 2.4. Mr. Adeniyi AF, Assistant Director of Lands Bureau, corroborated the submission of Surveyor Adebukola AA and maintained that the regularized status on the land implies that the original owner could repossess the land from the government through regularization process. Now 3.0. Visitation to the locus inco, that is disputed land, at OLOWOSOKEDILE village off Iju Road, IFAKO IJAIYE local government area on 17th March 2021. The committee, in conjunction with relevant officials from the Office of Surveyor General, Land Bureaus, Ministry of Agricultural Land Holdings Authority, respondent, who are the respondent, Barrister G.T. Ogunkoya, the petitioner and co, visited the disputed site. At the site, the committee observed the following. The 1917 map of Agege Iju Road presented show that the land of late Africanus Williams is in rectangular form, which put the land of Mrs. Cole, see annexure, and the land of Mrs. Cole, see annexure 4. The late Africanus, number 2, the late Africanus Williams land is clear and unambiguously distinct from the other neighboring portions, though with fully developed structures around it. 3. The contentious portion of land measuring 4.606 hectares clearly identified as the center of late Africanus Williams land when charted during the visit. We use the drone to do that. See annexure 5. The surrounding portions of the contentious land, which form part of the inherited land sold and developed by other children of late Africanus Williams, were seen by the committee. And the committee saw the level of work done by the agents of the petitioner before they were arrested and had their equipment seized by Agricultural Agric Land Holdings Authority with the aid of military personnel. The Office of Surveyor General thereafter presented its position paper on the disputed land, which still affirmed that it can be regularized by the rightful owner. See annexure 6. 4.0 findings. Based on the oral documentary submission and on the spot assessment, the committee made the following findings: that 1. The land under reference measuring 4.606 hectares has no commitment and falls within the Idu Road Junction acquisition, which is area of regularization, which can be regularized by the original owner. 2. The portion of land measuring 4.606 hectares in quotation 4 forms part of the large expanse of land duly purchased by late Africanus Williams in 1917 and willed to Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE OGUNKOYA ni Africanus Williams. 3. No evidence of compensation payment was made to Africanus Williams family land, including the disputed portion. 4. The compensation of 12,740 naira paid to Nelson Cole by the Lagos State government was made in respect of the 12.74 acres of land which was acquired from Mrs. Cole, which does not fall within the contentious portion. 5. The land of Africanus Williams in contention falls on the right-hand side of the community, while the land acquired from Mrs. Cole falls on the left, as discovered by the committee during the on-the-spot assessment of the area. And 6. It is evident that the Agricultural Land Holdings Authority, with the aid of armed personnel, harassed, intimidated, and arrested the workers of Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE OGUNKOYA on the land with their equipment seized. 5.0 Recommendation. In view of the findings above, the committee hereby recommend as follows: that 1. In view of the available overwhelming evidence that late Henry Africanus Williams duly purchased a large expanse of land since 1917, which includes the 4.606 hectares in contention, coupled with the status of the land as ratification without any commitment, Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE OGUNKOYA should take permanent possession of the 4.606 hectares of land as the beneficial owner. 2. The Ministry of Agriculture / Agricultural Land Holdings Authority should desist forthwith further claims of ownership of the 4.606 hectares of land owned by Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE OGUNKOYA and concentrate on the parcel of land legitimately acquired. 3. The The Ministry of Agriculture / Agricultural Land Holdings Authority should stop further harassment and intimidation of workers of Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE OGUNKOYA, the rightful owner of the land. And 5, the Office of Surveyor General, Lands Bureau, Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, and other relevant agencies should grant necessary approvals on the 4.606 hectares on request by Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE OGUNKOYA. 6.0 Appreciation. On behalf of other members of the committee, I wish to express our profound gratitude to Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, and my distinguished colleagues for the opportunity given to us to carry out this assignment. My sincere appreciation also go to the acting clerk of the House and the secretariat team for successful completion of this assignment. Thank you. Signed, Victor AKANDE, Chairman, Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights, Public Petition, and LASIEC. Thank you, sir.
Majority Leader. Honorable Toby, you can go ahead with your motion. Yes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to move that the report as presented by Honorable Victor AKANDE be adopted for debate. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Surajuddin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second the motion as moved.
Those who are in favor say aye. Aye. Those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. Who goes first? Okay. Honorable Rotimi Olowo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My colleague, good afternoon. Mr. Speaker, I will want to use this medium to appreciate the committee for a job well done. From the documents before me, I could see that they did a thorough job from section 2.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 4.0, and 5.0, which expressly stated that the owner acquired that land and is in use of that land since 1917. But some overzealous staff of the Ministry of Agriculture deliberately harassed them, arrested some of the workers, and even seized their equipment. And this is not just limited to that ministry. It's been going all over. This is the manner some of the ministry staff workers will dispossess people's property without a record. So I will want to thank the committee for a job well done and to ask these questions. I want to know if the committee had actually sought for the release of their equipment and for the arrested personnel. Secondly, has the owner made overtures to the necessary ministries of government for the regularization of the land so that tomorrow there will not be another issue that borders on some people trying to take the land from them. Once again, I thank the committee for a job well done, and I pray that the recommendation should be adopted as the recommendation of the House. Thank you very much.
Resolution. Okay. Reverend Joseph, I guess. Honorable Tobo.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, I want to sincerely commend the chairman of the committee for a job well done. It is clear that the land belonged to the Africanus Williams, and it has been bequeathed to the heir apparent, the lady who survived the gentleman. But then I am expected to see some recommendation. Mr. Omiri, who happens to be in charge of land holding authority, who is trying to mislead the government, knowing fully that the land in question did not belong to the government. The land falls within the left-hand side, while the land he was claiming to have paid compensation is in the right-hand side. So this, if thorough job has not been done by Honorable Victor Akonde and his team, he will have succeeded in misleading the government to take a wrong decision. So I want to say a recommendation where such person should be punished to stand as a deterrent to those who want to mislead government in the nearest future. Though that may be too harsh, but that is my own opinion, sincerely. But with this, I feel it's clear. So the recommendation of the committee should be adopted as a resolution of the House, and the same thing be sent to the appropriate government ministry to ensure that the necessary title documents were given to the owner and necessary amount paid to government covers to secure the land for their unborn generation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kinde Joseph. Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker. And I personally too would like to commend the committee for a thorough well job done. But I'm having a different opinion in respect of the papers being submitted, presentation being submitted. According to some of the papers, the presentation given to us on submission 2.1, it was well written there by Engineer Balogun Eho that the parcel of land was revoked and sent by the Lagos State government, including the land. He was saying that on the same contentious land, that's number one. They are still talking that the land is still the same thing. And don't forget that this land was acquired as far back as 1917. That was 104 years ago. I was opportune being the chairman of the House Committee on Agriculture, even though I was not well aware of when the committee went for that visitation. We had an appeal court judgment in respect of the land. It was called that took the Lagos State government to court during the military administrator. We won. The state won the first time and the second time. And I had lots of issues that has to do with agric lands in the state. Most of the land have been acquired, have been taken away from us. And we continue to say that we don't have land to farm. And secondly, on the petition written by G.T. Ogunye, on page paragraph 6, which I have it, unfortunately some of our people will not have it here. It was even written there that our claim case, although our land falls within Iju village acquisition, the land was acquired by the state government, compensation was paid, all this that now, and thank God when the Honorable Victor was talking now, he was doing his presentation, he said that they went there, then they used a drone. Within few minutes or hours, they were able to determine where the land, or talking about 11.383 acres of land, which is about 70 plots within that few hours. So my own is this, and on the issue of Mr. Omiri, then he was the general manager of ALA, so he's working, sincerely speaking, as a civil servant and to protect the properties of the state. So what I'm saying in essence, and lastly, sir, the petition written by G.T. Ogunye himself, he made a very good recommendation of Mr. Omiri, that he said, in this regard, our client hereby expresses sincere regret over and tender an apology over the personalized allegations against Mr. Prince Omiri, ADEYINKA, General Manager of the Lagos State Agricultural Lands Housing Holding, contained our said letter of 18th August 2014. So, and even the letter that he himself wrote, he said he wants amicable resolution. He is a lawyer, a well-known lawyer. It was after had it been the case
we don't have a very reasonable point on this case, it will have taken us to court. That's my submission, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable, the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Speaker. I want to commend the committee for going this whole log to come with this report. It shows that they really look into the matter. They visited the local Zinco. But I'm not too comfortable with the recommendations. One, the recommendation saying that OGUNKOYA should take permanent possession of the land in contention. I do not see how our resolution could pass as declaratory judgment. The law is that the title to land, declaration of title to land, lies within the competence of a court of competent jurisdiction. What we are doing is like ombudsman's job, trying to mediate between contentious parties. Even if the person goes upon the land, there is no future evidence that will protect the title. I think in this case, what we need to do is to recommend that a deed of release should be issued in favor of Ayodele Ashade, bearing in mind that from the evidence profile there in recommendation in the submission 2.1, it is said that Engineer Balogun read the content of a document where he alluded to the fact that that land is under acquisition. But the acquisition is a loose one by saying acquisition regularization area, which means that the person from whom the land was acquired can still regularize and make it. So the regularization shows that, acquisition regularization shows that the title of the land is still with the government, but the owner can regularize. And also that it is an acquisition without any commitment. So the state will lose nothing if the land is repossessed by the owner. So having alluded to the fact that the land in question was previously acquired, there is need to have a documentation from the government through the ministry, through the land holding, that the government has released this land to the owner because it is not dedicated and it falls within acquisition regulation, rather than saying that the owner should go and take possession. That may also lead to some other issues, because taking possession from a previously acquired land which has not been surrendered, and I don't see the force of law in this recommendation giving the person that power to go and take the land. Rather, I think what we need to do is to call on the governor to direct the land holding to issue deed of release in respect of this land, based on our conviction that the land is no more used by the government, is in loose acquisition, and is not committed, and the person wants it, they should release the land to the person. So that deed of release is an instrument, of authority, an instrument of title to the person. Also realizing that the land holding is like an agency of the government. We may not be directing our resolution to land holding, but we can only be directing it to the head of government, because land holding is still subservient to a particular authority. And that's why is an asset of the state. The authority of the state to be called is the governor. So I think that these things will better serve the purpose by calling the governor to also even the recommendation too, that the governor should direct the landholding from further doing this and that. I think the authority in this case is the governor and not the landholding, which is just an agency of government in relations to land. Those are my observations, because I don't want us to issue any recommendation that will not be potent enough to achieve our conviction in respect of the title to the land. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Lastly, Honorable Rashid Makinde. Come again? Clarification. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. If the case is before a competent division,
Please wait for your light.
Good afternoon, sir. If a case is before a court of competent jurisdiction and the judgment was delivered, do we still have the right to adjudicate on the same subject? That is my clarification, sir, that I want to sort.
Please connect that with subject under discussion. The matter under discussion.
Yeah. According to Honorable Kehinde Joseph, he submitted that the case was before a court of competent jurisdiction, appeal court, and the judgment was delivered in favor of the Lagos State government. And we are still debating. I just need the clarification if we still have the constitutional right to debate such when a court have already made a pronouncement.
Observation, sir.
Sorry.
Observation, sir.
How many observations are we having? Honorable Victor, just hold your peace.
Okay, sir.
Let us have the last contribution, then you respond to everything.
Thank you very much, Mr. Well, I have the light, Mr. Speaker. Am I recognized, sir?
Honorable Rashid Makinde. You have the light?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to ask, because I am a bit concerned about this report, Mr. Speaker. And I think there is need for us to be very careful. This is the House of Assembly, and we should not, at least we should be seen as rightly representing the people we represent and not give, not do anything that would actually can affect our image, Mr. Speaker, sir. Firstly, I would want to know if in the course of the job of the committee, whether they came in contact firstly with the appeal court judgment that was raised by Mr. Kehinde Joseph, because it's very important, Honorable Kehinde Joseph, my apologies. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the statement of Engineer Balogun is clear on the status of this land as reported by the committee itself. Also, the Annexure 1 that is attached here, the letter from the Office of the Surveyor General, is also clear, on the title of the document that the committee is laying claim to. You won't, the law is clear, and if you have a survey, you just don't do survey and keep it at home, and that survey does not give you right of ownership to a parcel of land. And it is clear from the Annexure 1 that the survey was never logged with the Office of the Surveyor General. This is actually against the law. And in terms of obtaining land information certificate from government, anybody, this has, land information, the Annexure 2, has no relevance to ownership of land. Anybody can indeed request for land information and you'll be attended to. So for me, I think we should be very careful about the recommendation of the committee as presented to us. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Lastly,
thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. The issue before the House this afternoon is a very sensitive one, rightly said by the Honourable Abiru. And anything concerning land in Lagos State, I think it should be a collective interest of every Lagosian that land is not something we can wish out anyhow. And don't forget that agric land holding is the only legitimate land bank for Lagos State. And they have every authority to defend what is in their custody. The Ministry of Housing, LSBC, they run down to agric land holding to seek for land for any project, even tourism. And all this land, before they could be released, they need to make a recourse to this agric land holding. And I can see what they presented, and I'm so surprised with the annexure 4.5 and the last page that the Surveyor General are working upon, and are now saying some places falls close to the Jew junction, whatever. Mr. Speaker, we have an issue presently. It's not yet presented to the House. Surveyor General cannot identify pipeline around this corridor of this land. I was one that even giving them how they could do that. We are in problem in this Lagos State. Very soon, Lagos State will not have any land to embark on any project. If this way we continue to take away the land that's supposed to be for the public use, and individuals are coming up with all sorts of documentation that the land belongs to them. All these papers they presented on 4.5 and the last page cannot be verified. The next information that they could be used for chatting is not, I cannot find it there. So I want to seek the indulgence of the House that the committee should go and do a thorough job. Committee, we are not professionals. We seek advice from different agencies and probably private people before we could come. But what I have seen so far, even the title that covers, that they used in 1917, we want to see that title that covers this 4.something hectares that they now say they will to somebody. We want to see the total title that covers that, where they could now make a deed of partitioning for that. We want to see the root of title. The land registry must be invited. We want to see that deed of partitioning that they derive, where they derive the root of title. So this thing is very sensitive. We cannot continuously taking away lands from Lagos State government to individual. Now, in my own area, that happens to be the consensus 01 in IFAKO, that's where I've been born. We don't have any other land in that area for any public use again. For any public use, no land. They are doing action plan in this area, OBALENDE area. I think this area should be a better portion of land they could use for better usage for the interest of the public. There's an action plan project that's going on presently in that corridor. So I want to urge the House that we should make land available to government agencies that they will use it for the interest of the public rather than individual. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Victor Akonde, please respond.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. This was the same questions that were asked before this report was stepped down, and before we were asked to go and make a very thorough job. Number one, during the course of our
reopening of the case. They brought the judgment, and that judgment is not on Africanus land, is on Joko land. When we get there, even with Joko
on Nelson Cole.
On Nelson Cole, okay. Nelson Cole land, and there is this Annexure 4, which is not too clear now, but that was what was used to trace where the land is. We trekked for more than 3 hours. The agri land holdings, the land bureau, and everybody, they brought a drone by themselves to be able to capture whatever we are doing. And at the end of the day, they saw that that was not the land in question. The land is on the left, and Africanus land is on the right. But at the committee level, they brought the judgment, and the judgment is not judgment of Africanus against the state. It is the judgment of Nelson Cole, which they've already paid 12,470 naira or 12,740 naira to them. That settles that judgment. Then, on the issue of Mr. Omiri was formerly the GM, but by the time we started this matter, he was transferred from that ministry to another ministry. So, whatever we do now, it was inherited by the present GM, and himself followed us down to see everything. Not that it was done in the absentia, no. Then concerning the statement credited to Engineer Balogun, yes, there is no lacuna in this instance.
Are you sure?
There is no lacuna. What he's saying is that the land is under acquisition, and from you could see that
the land
is under acquisition, and you could see from some of your general's report, the first report and the second report. Let me refer us to Annexure 1. That's the first. What they submitted is that the 13th report shows that all the survey plan fall within Idu Road Junction and is under acquisition, and it was gazetted in 1978. They've not said that it is not under acquisition. What they are saying is that there is no commitment whatsoever on that land. And once the land does not fall to where the agri land holdings is claiming that it is their land, their own is on the left, while this Africanus is on the right. Number two, when you now look, we now ask them again after we visited the local Cinco. We ask them again to come up again with another report. After we have finished everything, go to Annexure 6. Annexure 6. And look at observation number 4. Our observation from the investigation conducted are as follows. That is when all of us will move into all the nooks and crannies of all the lands. The locus inco subject site via the red color falls within the portion said to belong to Henry Africanus family, which falls within Idu Road Junction, revocation of right of occupation. It has not changed. And they are not saying it is not acquired. That is just for you to know that everybody were on ground. We moved. We were there for over 3 hours, going from one point, and they were taking the point. They took the point. That was how they came about the annexure, the accompanying Annexures, let me say 7, the last page, the 7th. And that was how they drew all this and came up with this. So that is for that. The issue of drone, it was the government that came with the drone, not us. We are not the one that came with the drone. And may I say this, sir, that when we were going, the Surveyor General brought their own surveyor, and the petitioner brought their surveyor. They were taking the point together, side by side. And to the best of our knowledge, it was even somebody from lands that later now discovered that where they are talking about is on the left. So, and that was why I asked them to bring a position paper again to justify what we saw during our course of investigation, and this is what we saw. I quite agree with majority leader that deed of release should be the recommendation, and it is taken. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Observation.
Yes, sir.
Honorable Prince Yusuf, and after that, the majority leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
You want to contribute?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Well,
I think
Sorry. After you, Honorable Tobun, before the majority leader, please don't forget that we are pressed for time.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When the chairman House Committee on Agric was making a submission, he said he was in the possession of some document which is not available to the committee. I think we should take that one into consideration, though I will not blame the committee for not having that. I would rather blame the Ministry of Agric for their own negligence and lack of commitment. Because if they have very fertile documents that can help the ministry, why did they withhold it from the committee? That's number one. Number two, sir, there is no way you treat a particular subject when the representative of that very place is available to shed more light to what is happening there. Honorable Makinde gave us a very fundamental advice that we should be very careful, and we should also investigate seriously on this one. So my own suggestion is that we should still not conclude this report because of sensitivity of the issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, sincerely, first on the judgment was not part of the document submitted to us by the committee, so we may not be able to take that judgment as part of document to work on this platform, on this Allo chamber, because the people involved did not submit that document. So how did the document find its way into the parliament? So 1. 2, they have claimed that the lands could be regularized, and one in the Land Use Act, land acquired is for overall public interest, and if that land is not used, should be returned back to the owner. So in this context, the land, even if it is acquired by government, the government Surveyor General, who happens to be the man in charge of coordinates of all land in Lagos State, have made it clear that the land in question fall by the right-hand side, and while the one they have paid for fall by the left-hand side. It's clear. We cannot bring sentiments. If we need land elsewhere, government can acquire, they can purchase, if it is for variety public interest, rather than for us to start playing devil advocates or holding forth for landholding authority. We know what happened in landholding authority. So the Ministry of the Commission on Agric too should investigate the Ministry of the Landholding Authority on all our lands, where they are, and who kept them, who are the ones that are selling them. So this, we should not bring sentiment. That is my candid opinion, sir. We should treat based on the documents submitted to us by the committee and on the recommendation of the committee, rather than bringing a foreign document that was not part of the document submitted to us by the chairman of the committee. Thank you, sir.
Majority Leader.
My observation contradicts clearly what Honorable Tobu and Honorable Bisi Yusuf said. In his response, the chairman of Petitions, Judiciary, Petitions, did tell us that the judgment was presented to the committee. But the committee discovered that the judgment is in respect of another parcel of land. The committee is working for the House of Assembly. And I continue to maintain that what we do today becomes history tomorrow. Any petition dealt with in this House must be supported by sufficient evidence from which generation to come after us can get the import of what we are talking about. If the committee did not attach the document, then that's the fault of the committee, and that is concealment of vital information. It's enough for the committee to say so document was tendered, but we found that it is not in line with the matter. So that clearly takes off that I was to tell Honorable Joseph that the petition, the judgment you are bringing here does not fall in issue because it was not tendered at the committee. But the chairman himself admitted that it was tendered, but they found that it is in respect of another one. He does not have the discretion to tender, to attach some document and don't attach. The ones that are not relevant, let us know they are not relevant. Everybody cannot be a member of that particular committee. And as regards the issue raised by the second issue raised by the chairman, you have done a very good job, no doubt. But here we must be sure that whatever we are going to say, we will be able to defend it sufficiently with facts and figures. Omiri was not, Omiri, it was during Omiri time that the land was acquired, and it was Omiri that did all the thing, harassment, and it was Omiri that subject matter. The fact that Omiri is still in the service of Lagos State government, but not in that holding alone, does not preclude him from being invited to come and give account of his deeds while he was the GM of Agric Holding. Maybe if he has been invited, he will be able to throw more light into the issue. Sincerely, Mr. Speaker, the officers of land, the Surveyor General that came here, I suspect some collaboration in it, because the evidence they gave was even against the land holding where they serve. Mr. Speaker, I want to rest my observation in respect of that. Thank you.
On this matter, I will only take Honorable Victor Akonde before we take a decision.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The judgment was not tendered. The two parties argued. The document, and we look at it, and that was when Mr. Baloguna kept the document. It was brought, but was not tendered. That is that. Number two, we send letter of invitations to Omiri, to everybody. We never precluded anybody. We sent letter to all of them, but they took it up. The present GM took it up. That is now in the saddle. That is why we went ahead with our findings. And it's for us to go to local single to actually see what's on ground. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, I want to thank distinguished honorable members for their contribution, and I think I've gained tremendously from your contributions. I want to say that the contribution of the chairman of AGRIC is well noted, and other distinguished honorable members. I just want to assume that, suppose, and I want to say if it is correct, that the land actually has been acquired by the Lagos State government. It has been acquired, there is no doubt about it, either to the left or to the right. I've seen the judgment, I've tried to go through the judgment, and I've seen what was stated that Nelson Cole was the head of family, that Africanus also, whatever belonged, something like that. But I want to assume that, let us assume it is Lagos State government. Is it legal for those whose land has been acquired to regularize? I think it is a normal thing in Lagos to apply for regularization. I also think that the contribution that we should take seriously is the contribution of the majority leader, where he said, and I quote, that the most important thing is for the family to write the governor for deed of release. If the governor so release, then it is valid. If it does not, then they sort it out. So maybe for us to conclude this, we should not start all this dilly-dallying. Please amend your recommendation that the family should apply for deed of release from the governor of Lagos State. So it is now between them.
As amended by majority leader, sir.
Okay. Any seconder? It's nice. Honorable Tom, you have the...
Yes, sir, since he has agreed to amend as recommended by the majority, and I think we should just adopt the recommendation of the committee as the resolution of the House. Since he has agreed to amend the recommendation in line with the suggestion of the majority leader, so we should adopt the recommendation of the committee as the resolution of the House, Mr. Speaker.
The amendment of the majority leader is all-encompassing.
Yes, sir.
Apply for the release of the land.
Exactly, sir.
Every other thing follows after release, regularization, and so on and so forth. Those who are in support, please say. If you support the amendment, please say.
We support, sir.
No support. If you support, say A.
A.
If you are against, say nay. The ayes have it. Majority.
Mr. Speaker, I think we need to go further from that affirmation. The affirmation is instead of supporting the amendment, we need to adopt the recommendation as the resolution of the House. There are two different things, please. Sir? Are you presiding? Mr. Speaker, I want to suggest that having adopted the recommendation, except we are saying that the resolution is amended, the recommendations should be adopted as the resolution of the House, subject to the amendment of the House. So that because Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying is that the hazard will capture what we do. What we do not say, the hazard will not capture it. And that means make the resolution to be subject of. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Abiru.
Well, thank you very much. I was just going to observe the majority leader. To the extent that Mr. Speaker has amended all the recommendations and he has put them as one. And that is what he has said. So that is what I think you are adopting as resolution of the House.
And a resolution has been passed, a motion, Abi, a resolution has been passed, so I don't think we should go back to that. We should have the other item. I don't think I have the paper. Okay. Please, Honorable Akande, are you ready for your second report?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Report of the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights, Public Petition, and LASIEC on a petition titled Complaint Against S.U. OMOLE, Mrs., the Marriage Registrar of ETI-OSA Local Government, IKOYI OBALENDE Local Council Development Area, LCDA, on the issuance of invalid certified true copy of marriage certificate to Mrs. PHILOMINA LAMINA by LABI-LAWAL and Co. Preamble. Mr. Speaker, sir, and distinguished colleagues, the above stated petition was committed to the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights, Public Petitions, and LASIEC by Mr. Speaker to look critically into the allegations raised in and therein and report its findings to the House accordingly. Mr. Speaker, I will seek your permission to continue from 2.0. Sir, is it granted?
Granted, granted.
Thank you, sir. Cross of the matter. The petition under reference dated 7th December 2020 by LABI-LAWAL and Co. on behalf of Mrs. Fumilola Lamina alleged that Mrs. OMOLE S.U., Marriage Registrar of IKOYI OBALENDE LCDA, issued a certified true copy of a marriage certificate to Mrs. PHILOMINA LAMINA on a marriage purportedly held in the old ETI-OSA local government in year 2000, which was eventually confirmed to be invalid by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs upon inquiry from the Ministry. 3.0. Inquiry by the committee chairman. The committee chairman, Honorable Victor Akonde, welcomed the invited stakeholders to the meeting and requested to know whether the matter of the purported issuance of CTC of the marriage certificate in question is before any court of competent jurisdiction. 3.1. Responses. In response to the question raised by the committee chairman, by LABI-LAWAL, the petitioner stated that the matter under reference is not before any court, adding that the only pending issue before the High Court of Lagos State is suit number ID/1579 FPM/2018 to Fumilola Lamina versus Monday Ubani Esquire and others was instituted by a client to protect the estate of her deceased husband, late Yisa Adekunle Lamina, who died in January 24, 2018. Furthermore, he stated that Mrs. OMOLE S.U., the main respondent in this matter, is not a party to the case in the court. Barrister Evans Veyi from Ubani and Co., solicitor to Mrs. PHILOMINA Lamina, confirmed that the issue before the court is in respect of the estate owned by late Mr. Yisa Adekunle Lamina. 3.13. In view of the fact that Mrs. OMOLE S.U., the main respondent in the matter before the committee, is not a party to the pending case before the High Court of Lagos State, coupled with the fact that his certified true copy in the question is not the major case taken to court, both parties agree to the continuation of the investigation by the committee. Submission. 4.1. By the LABI-LAWAL, the counsel to the petitioner, Mrs. Fumilola Lamina, submitted that in the course of filing the case of protecting his client's husband's estate in 2018, Mrs. PHILOMINA Lamina, as one of the wives of the deceased, suddenly came up with a certified true copy of a marriage certificate purportedly issued by Mrs. OMOLE S.U., the marriage registrar of IKOYI OBALENDE LCDA. He added that the purported CTC with serial number 089
dated 8 August 2000, indicated that a marriage was conducted in the old ETI-OSA local government in year 2000 between Mrs. Philomina Imade Agbotinima and Yisa Adekunle Lamina, who died on January 24, 2018. A copy of the CTC attached as Annexure 1. He stated 4.12. He stated further that bearing in mind that every marriage certificate issued are in triplicate copies, with first copy for the couple, second copy kept in council's ledger, and the third copy deposited at the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, in line with the Marriage Registration Law 2015. Thus, in order to confirm the authenticity of the purported CTC of the marriage certificate, a letter of request for confirmation of same dated July 18, 2019 was forwarded to the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs. A copy of the letter of request is attached as Annexure 2. In response, via a letter dated 9th August 2019, the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs confirmed that there was no adequate evidence by way of records to authenticate that the said marriage officially took place and registered due to the process of issuance. In the same vein, the ministry discovered that the marriage certificate number 089-2000 had been issued for another marriage, which was duly registered. Hence, it concluded that the CTC cannot be said to be valid. A copy of the letter by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs is attached as Annexure 3. Barrister LABI-LAWAL further alleged that inquiry into the claimed marriage certificate revealed that the same serial number 089/2000 dated July 27, 2000 in the original ledger officially belongs to another couple, Mr. and Mrs. Adeniyi Isiaka Olona, and thereby wondering how two marriages conducted on different dates in different registry could bear the same serial number, see Annexure 4. This, according to him, further corroborated the position of the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs that invalidated the purported CTC, alleging that there was connivance between Mrs. OMOLE, the marriage registrar, and Mrs. Philomina Lamina. He thereafter sought the intervention of the House for the cancellation of the said CTC and to sanction Mrs. OMOLE if found culpable to serve as deterrent to others. 4.13. Mrs. Philomina Lamina posted that she got married to her husband, who is now deceased, in August 2000, adding that all the documents relating to the marriage, including the marriage certificate and photographs, got missing and untraceable. She stated further that on her instruction, the CTC in question was secured by her legal counsel, Ubani and Co. 4.14. Barrister Evans Ufeyi from Ubani and Co. counsel to Mrs. Philomina Lamina disclosed that the legal firm secured the CTC on the instruction of its clients due to the loss of all documents that could validate the claimed marriage. He also confirmed that the firm got the CTC from IKOYI OBALENDE marriage registry through a letter without any police report and affidavit attached to it. 4.15. Mr. Agbabiaka, BW, Director of Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, authenticated the letter that emanated from the ministry dated 9th August 2019 in response to the request of LABI-LAWAL and Co. in Annexure 3. He recalled that he was the deputy director in charge of the marriage registry as at 2019. When the ministry received the correspondence from LABI-LAWAL and Co., he further recalled that he, in conjunction with 2 other staff of the ministry, including Mrs. Shoniregun, OO, investigated the matter, and that in the course of the investigation, the team went to ETI-OSA local government where the purported marriage was conducted to confirm from the original ledger, but the information could not be traced due to movement of records to other sister LCDAs in 2003-2004 when the LCDA were created. 4.16, he added that upon further investigation at Victoria Island LCD, the original ledger with serial number 089-2000 dated 27 July 2000 was eventually found with the name of Mr. Adeni Isiaka Oluna and Bumi Kafilat Balogun in Annexure 4 above as against the claim Philomina LAMINA dated 8 August 2000. Mr. Gbabiaga, however, stated that the original certificate bearing Mr. Adeni Oluna and Bumi with the serial number 089-2000 was officially conducted at the ETI-OSA local government, adding that it was wrong for a marriage to hold in one local government /SCD and the CTC be issued by another LG/SCD as in the case of the issuance of the CTC under reference by Mrs. OMOLE SO from IFAKO, IKOYI Obalende LCD. He further stated that there were no records to prove the claimed marriage CTC being paraded by Mrs. Philomina LAMINA, and he therefore posted that the CTC issued is null and void. He informed that before a CTC could be issued to an individual or a legal representative, it must be accompanied with a police report, a sworn affidavit, and confirmation from the original ledger. Moreover, marriage registration by the marriage registry are in triplicate, with 1 copy to the couple, 1 copy to the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, and 1 copy in the ledger to serve as a reference in line with the marriage. In line with the marriage registration law 2015, while the copy in the ledger must be confirmed to be in place before issuance of CTC. Mrs. 4.17, Mrs. Shoniregun OO from Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs and a member of the team that investigated the matter corroborated the position of Mr. Gbabiaga and enumerated the condition for issuance of CTC on marriage as follows: a written request from the concerned individuals or letter from the legal firm to be addressed to the marriage registrar, which must be accompanied with police report, a sworn affidavit, and that the ledger must be consulted to confirm whether the marriage is officially took place. In addition, a photograph taken by the couple with the signboard or logo of the local government /LCDA where the marriage was conducted at the background can also stand as evidence, but the ledger plays key role. She stated further that none of the aforementioned conditions was met before Mrs. OMOLE SO issued the CTC to Mrs. Philomina LAMINA. The ledger was discovered at Victoria Island LCD, which affirmed that the serial number 089/2000 dated July 2000 originally belongs to the Oluna family. The Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs thereafter presented its position paper accordingly. See Annexure 5. 4.18. Mrs. Omole S.O., Marriage Registrar, IKOYI OBALENDE, LCDA, responded affirmed that she issued the CTC with serial number 089-2000 dated 8 August 2000 to Mrs. PHILOMINA LAMINA upon the receipt of a letter of request from Ubani & Co., a legal firm. She added that she relied on a document found in her office in the absence of original ledger, which bears Yisa Adekule Lamina and Philomina Imade Agbotohima with serial number 089-2000 dated 8 August 2000. She stated that the marriage was conducted in 2000 by the former marriage registrar, ETI-OSA local government, in person of Mrs. D.O. George, retired, before the creation of LCDA in 2003. She explained that her predecessor in office have been issuing CTC on request based on a letterhead paper from a law firm since 2007. When she started working in the marriage registry before she became marriage registrar in 2016, she stated that any marriage registrar from any local government or SCDA can issue CTC on original marriage certificate conducted by another LG or SCDA. She further confirmed that the application for the issuance of CTC from Bana & Co. did not include any police report, sworn affidavit, photographs of the couple, and that original ledger was not available before the issuance, a clear violation of the extant law. She further informed that 2 or more marriages can bear the same serial number as it is the practice she inherited from her predecessors, and the same occurrence in the other local governments / LCDAs. She mentioned marriage registrars of some local government and LCDA operating the same procedure, namely Mr. Shehu Ajayi, Badagry local government, Mr. Deji Shokeye, Ibejuleki, Mrs. Adesoye Deborah, Isolo LCDA, Mrs. Kende Ayesa, ETI-OSA local government. She thereafter presented 10 copies of CTC, out of which 2 bear same serial number with different dates between 1999 and 2001, adding that the original ledgers of those years were missing and unavailable. 4.19, Mr. Oloto L.O., Council Manager IKOYI OBALENDE LCDA, submitted that it is impracticable and administratively wrong for 2 marriage certificates with different dates to bear the same serial number. Mr. Deji Shokeye, marriage registrar Ibejuleki local government, attributed the discrepancies of 2 marriage certificates conducted on different dates with same serial number to the rot in the system, and that it is not peculiar to IKOYI OBALENDE LCDA. He, however, stressed the need to always consult the ledger for confirmation before CTC could be validly issued. 4.111, Mr. A.O. Yerokun, marriage registrar Iru, Victoria Land, LCDA, stated that he has been the marriage registrar of the LCDA since 2013. He alluded to the fact that adequate consultation should be made to the original ledger before issuing CTC. He confirmed that the original ledger of the marriage certificate under reference was found in Iru, Victoria Island, LCDA. Marriage registry as posited by the officials from the Ministry of LG, Local Government and Community Affairs. He added that the original ledger indicated that the serial number 089-2000 officially belongs to Mr. Deni Isiaka Olono, dated 27th July 2000 in the marriage held at the old ETI-OSA LG prior to the creation of
LCDA in 2003. The ledger was presented to the committee for citing, and the ledger is here today.
The original ledger?
The original ledger is here.
How?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Findings. In the course of the exercise, the committee observed the following. That 1, the certified true copy of a marriage certificate with serial number 089-2000 dated 8 August 2000 issued by Mrs. Omole S.O., marriage registrar of IKOYI OBALENDE LCDA to Mrs. PHILOMINA LAMINA was not found in the original ledger of ETI-OSA local government and other 2 sisters LCDAs. 2, the original ledger with serial number 089-2000 dated 27th July 2000 officially belongs to Mr. and Mrs. Adeniyika Olono and not Mrs. Philomina Lamina. 3, the issuance of the CTC with serial number 089-2000 dated August 2000 by Mrs. Omole S.O., marriage registrar of IKOYI OBALENDE LCDA, did not follow due process as there was no police report, sworn affidavits, and confirmation from ledger to back up the claim by Mrs. Philomina Lamina and her legal counsel in line with the extant law. 4, there is no uniformity in the record keeping among the marriage registrars of local government and LCDA in the state, as some of their records are fully of inconsistencies and discrepancies. 5, there is no effective monitoring and supervisory role over the activities of the marriage registrars by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs. 6, the marriage registration law 2015 does not emphasize some new realities. And 7, there is no regular training through workshop for the marriage registrar as at the local government level and the LCDA level to boost their efficiency. To add more, sir, we all equally collected the counterfeit of the and we didn't find any of it here. So it is here, sir. For what citing the one that is kept with the local government and community affairs is here. So we brought them to be forward.
I'm just wondering why you are having the original.
I will have to, as a matter of questioning and requestioning, we have to tender this, sir, so that we will not take too much questions. Recommendations. Based on the oral and written submissions made available, the committee recommends as follows. That 1, the House should call on the Commissioner for Local Government and Community Affairs to direct the Council Chairman of IKOYI OBALENDE in conjunction with the marriage register to nullify the certified true copy of the marriage certificate with serial number 089-2000 dated 8 August 2000 issued to Mrs. Philomina Lamina and withdraw same as a matter of urgency and declare same to be invalid. 2, Mrs. Philomina Lamina should cease forthwith the use of the certified true copy of the marriage certificate with serial number 089/2000 as a result of its invalidity. 3, the Local Government Service Commission should constitute a personnel management board against Mrs. S.O. Omole, marriage registrar IKOYI OBALENDE LCDA, for necessary disciplinary action without further delay to serve as deterrent to others. 4, all the marriage registrars of the local government and LCDA in the state must always follow due process in the discharge of their responsibility in line with the Evidence Act, Evidence Act, Marriage Registration Law 2015, and other extant law. 5, there should be a set
standard and uniformity in the record keeping by all the marriage registrars across the state in line with the Marriage Registration Law 2015 to avoid loss of records and undue discrepancies. 6. The Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs should ensure regular monitoring of the activities of the marriage registrars at ensuring effective and efficient service delivery. 7. There is urgent need to review the Marriage Registration Law 2015 in order to conform with the modern day realities. 8. There is need for regular training and retraining of the marriage registrars across the state to boost their efficiency. Appreciation. On behalf of other members of the committee, I wish to express our profound gratitude to Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues for the confidence reposed in us to carry out this assignment. My appreciation also goes to the acting clerk of the House and the Secretariat team for timely completion of this assignment. Thank you all. Honorable Akode V.O., Chairman of Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights, Public Petition, and LASIEC. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable Tobo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to move that the report as presented by Honorable Victor Akonde be adopted for debate. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Suraj.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I second the motion as moved by Honorable Togo.
All those in favor say aye. All those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Babiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Fellow members, I indeed want to appreciate the House Committee on Judiciary on a painstakingly well done job on this instance. Honestly, it is most unfortunate that the registrar of marriages at that time, this Ms. Omole, did this that she did. With all these evidences, I cannot agree less with the committee on its findings. And I also want to believe that the law firm of Ubani & Co. Ubani & Co. is a well-reputed law firm, and I expect that they also should know the procedure, in applying for a CTC. And if indeed they went ahead to apply without attaching necessary documents, though they got their way from the registrar at that time, which indeed is clear that it must have been a conspiracy, I think that law firm too should be cautioned. Honestly, because they are a big name, and they should not be seen to associate with issues that are clearly criminal in nature. Yes, it's a law firm, irrespective of who brings the brief. They will take it because they are out to for business, but I think they should also be cautioned. I want to agree in totality with the recommendation of the committee, and that the House oppose the recommendation as stated, save for the part of Ubani, if the House be recommended to NBA for appropriate sanctions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Joseph Kende.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker. I want to also touch the line of the Honorable Abiru. I appreciate the committee for a thorough job done. But on the recommendations, the number 2, even though the Mrs. Philomina Lamina, she has been told not, she should seek forthwith the use of that certified true copy. If we follow very well with what the chairman of the committee presented to us, we will see that it was after the demise of the husband, the man, Mr. Lamina, that it was discovered, probably when they were trying to read the will, that the senior wife now discovered that, so this man, you have another wife somewhere else with those certificates. My own concern now is that apart from the woman that she should cease using that certificate, I did not see any other means for her. Probably, how is she going to get another certificate, or probably to prove that truly she's married now at that time? So what is that is just, I want a clarification on that, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to ask the chairman this question. In item 4.18, where Mrs. Omole claimed that she relied on a document found in her office in the absence of original ledger, which bear ADEYINKA, LAMINA, and PHILOMINA, Imade, Ago, Benal. I just want to ask, that carry that serial number, I just want to ask from the chairman of the committee if Mrs. Omole was able to present that document that she relied upon, and she claimed that was signed by Mrs. D.O. George. So just to certify that truly, maybe she relied on that, and with that, it has been corroborated by item 4.110, which other marriage registrar, like Shokeye and, sorry sir, item Mr. Deji Shokeye, who happens to be a marriage registrar in Bejuleki, claimed that it's unethical, and Mr. A.O. Yerokun, who happens to be a marriage registrar in Victoria Land, as equally unethical. So if maybe the woman was able to present that document before the committee chairman to guide her decision. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Prince Yusuf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am very happy that even now that you are on the seat of speakership, you are local G. And Mr. Tobu, I'm Honorable Tobu also, is a veteran in this very case. Mr. Speaker, I must confess, this is a very serious issue and is very rampant in Lagos State. And based on this, the recommendation 6, the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs should ensure regular monitoring of the activities of marriage registers at ensuring the effective and efficient service delivery. This has been there for long. It has been there for long. They could not do anything to copy. What I will suggest, Mr. Chairman, is for the Committee on the Chairman Committee on Local Government and Community Affairs to make it a part of their oversight functions, to see to this registrar of the councils. That is where they put bad names. In fact, there are some certificates when you get to a foreign land, they reject it, they deport people because of these fraudulent practices of obtaining marriage certificates in Nigeria. So I will employ the chairman of local government administration to put his foot down on the marriages registry in Lagos State. Thank you.
The Majority Leader. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I want to commend unreservedly the diligence of the committee members in coming up with this report. The action of Mrs. OMOLE is so embarrassing to the state government, to the council, and as posited by Honorable Bisi Yusuf, this is rampant in our local government. They just do things haphazardly, believing that nothing will come out of it. The instructive thing in this report is that the deceased was reported to be married to 3 wives. How does he contract a marriage, official marriage with 3 wives at the registry, except that the previous 2 do not have official marriage? Something is fishing around that place. And how is it possible that somebody will not be able to trace photographs and other documents pertaining to our marriage, including the certificate, which prompted her to seek for CTC that was found to be fake? It could also be that there was no marriage, she just wanted to have documents to cover up that, so as to, I'm just thinking aloud. Mr. Speaker, the recommendations of the committee are very apt, except that I want to add that as regards Resolution 3, the Local Government Service Commission should constitute a PMB against for Mrs. S.O. OMOLE, Marriage Registry, INVALID, for necessary disciplinary action without further delay to serve as to order, and that the outcome of that PMB should be communicated to the House of Assembly through the clerk, so as to be sure that they actually, constitute that PMB. Because if you just leave it in the hands of the ministry, they may not do anything about it. There are so many lackadaisical attitude that is giving the government of Lagos State, bad names. Everybody should do his job diligently. So far, you are being paid salaries for it. So I think the Ministry of Local Government should take seriously this case that has been, brought before the House of Assembly. And it's because they feel it is administrative. That's why they did not run to the courts, but they have come to the House of Assembly, believing that we will do due diligence in respect to the matter. So to do this, recommendation is good, but I'm just trying to say that the report of the PMB should be communicated to the House of Assembly so as to know that that has been done, and we just don't leave it with levity and everybody just continue to do whatever they like. Once again, I want to commend the committee and its chairman for this wonderful and brilliant presentation and exposition of the matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, the Majority Leader. I want to take 3 more. Honorable AYOOLA, after Honorable Jude Dimogu and Honorable Saka Shulaja.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, my colleagues. I'm a member of the committee, and we did a thorough job, just as you have alluded to. But I need to let you know that all the recommendations that we have here, they are perfectly in order. And I quite subscribe to the 7th one that says that there is urgent need to review the Marriage Registration Law 2015 in order to conform with the modern day realities. Mr. Speaker, sir, it's evidently clear that the registrar that we have is an obsolete one, is archaic.
You need to see
The registrar or the registry?
I'm talking of the registry, sorry. Very, very archaic. We need to update the registry. There is no gainsaying the fact that we need to computerize our marriage desk. The issue of using longhand or writing all these things should be stopped henceforth. I equally agree that we need the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs that should ensure that there is regular monitoring of the activity of the marriage registrar at ensuring effective and efficient service delivery. The staff there too, we need to give them that training. It's evidently clear that there is a connivance between Mrs. Omole of Iru, Victoria Island, Ubani Chambers and Philomina LAMINA as brought forward by my colleagues. But we don't need to stop at that, sir. So that's why I will corroborate what Honorable Abiru said, that Ubani Chamber should be recommended to the appropriate disciplinary unit of Nigerian Bar Association. They need to be disciplined. I don't know why a law firm of that standard should indulge in this kind of nefarious activities. So he who comes to equity must come with clean hand. There is strong evidence that there is connivance. They know the price for what they have done, so they need to pay for it, sir. Thanks so much, sir.
Honorable Jude.
Yeah, thank you, my speaker. Thank you, my colleagues. I also want to appreciate the chairman and his team for a good job done. My own view here, especially for the solicitor, I think for me, they have to be penalized, going through the right channel as stated by one of my colleagues. However, I'm happy because these have also exposed what is happening, the role that happened in local government and community affairs, especially the marriage registry. Because if you discover a lot of Nigerians always marry abroad, you know, they will come home, sometimes they will just send their brother or your sister, somebody will do it for them here and they will send the same certificate, purporting 1 or 2 marriages, especially most of them, even some I know. You discover that at the end of the day, they get there and what they have issued happens to be fake. And sometimes they run into troubles. Some of them even go to jail there. So it's because of the weakness of what we have in our local government, especially in Nigeria, not just in Lagos alone. So, sir, I think this is an eye-opener that will help the local government and community affairs to look inward, to ensure that this marriage registry is taken care of, because it's very, very key in relationship between us and even foreigners in particular. So I like this exposure so that we can always do diligence, not only that, and do the needful at times like this. So for me, I also see that Mrs. S.O. Omole, for me, what she have done is fraudulent. Maybe from day one, he was not officially married to the man, but probably because the man is deceased, maybe because of will or trying to enjoy 1 or 2 property or the other, I discover among the 3, nobody have come out as being the first wife. So she decided to go through the other one, and it was aided and abetted by the legal firm, which is wrong. So for me, it's a good one, and I open up to all of us that we should do the right thing at the right time. Thank you.
There was Saka.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and my colleagues. Let me first of all appreciate the committee, particularly the chairman of the committee, the way Masha, the investigation, confiding, and recommendation. Based on that, I think Honorable Bisi mentioned that the local government committee should also do the thorough investigation about the issuance of receipt and certificate of marriage. I think it's not the duties of the committee to do that. It's the duties of the external auditors of the local government to do the finding. And where it is necessary, they should penalize. And based on this, if you look at the numbers of the people that testify, or Mr. Lotto has been a council treasurer before it now been upgraded to the council managers, and also Mr. Dejishone and the other marriage registrar. They know what is exactly transfer, and believe me honestly, it's not only registries, including all the revenues officers. Some of them have different receipts which they are using. The chairman, the speaker today can also testify. When he was the chairman of the local government, we discovered a lot, and that is why most of the local government now said that all the ratepayers should be paid direct to the bank. But you see, most of our people, too, the ratepayers, they will connive because of less payment they want to make to the revenue collectors. But issue of this, believe me honestly, for recommendation to the local government administration, I think it has been stated in financial regulation that anybody that has been caught for issuing receipts or a printed receipt or relevant document in the local government or in the state that have been able to identify as the fake is summary dismissal. And we are waiting for the committees have recommended that the Ministry of Local Government should do something, but believe me honestly, it's a straightforward issue. They should dismiss Mrs. Omole. That's my submission.
Honorable Victor Akonde, you may please respond and then tell us if you would like to incorporate one or two suggestions made by distinguished colleagues. One is the PMB, whatever the report of the PMB should be sent to the clerk of the Lagos State House of Assembly when it is their job is completed. And the second is for all the marriage registries across the state to be modernized, upgraded, and computerized.
Thank you, sir. First of all, let me appreciate all my colleagues for not allowing me to go through what I went through before. I thank you so much for supporting this. You supported the other one, but we went through some rigorous. Yes, from the question Honorable Tobo asked, yes, we saw what he purportedly stated that he was given, and this is it. But we discovered something. We cannot, I don't want to tamper with this. That was why we cannot give it to, we can't do the photocopy and attach to this because of the picture is on it. We discovered that she went to look for picture. You know, when there is new picture, you know the way it will look like compared to a picture that has been taken about 21 years ago. So this is the picture, and that was why we retained it. We don't want to touch it, so that anybody that wants to see it, they will see that this picture was recently printed. That is why I said I came with everything, so that they will not. And again, this is the original ledger. This one was not even in this at all. It's supposed to be here, or it's not here. So we have to bring it so that you see the picture is a new picture. It's not an old picture, because an old picture will have been dented in one way or the other. When you put something on something, it will start burning also. That is that. Then to the amendment, I want to say we adopt all the corrections that have been made, all in the recommendation. All of them are taken, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Tobin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. With the adoption of all the correction by the chairman of the committee, I want to move that the recommendation of the committee be adopted as the resolution of the House.
The recommendation as amended.
Yes, sir. With the amendment, he has agreed to the amendment, sir.
Yes.
The recommendation as amended be adopted as the resolution of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Babiru.
I second the motion as moved.
All those in favor say aye. All those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. Majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to move that the House reverts to plenary, having concluded the items on the other paper for which we dissolve to committee of the whole. I so move.
Honorable Suraj. Honorable Suraj.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I second the motion as moved.
Those in favor say aye. Those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. Majority leader.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, at the committee of the whole, we took presentation in respect of two reports from the Chairman House Committee on Judiciary, Petitions, Human Rights, and LASIEC. The first of the two reports was the report on unlawful occupation and conversion of 4.606 hectares of land of Mrs. AYOOLA ASHAKE OGUNKOYA. The recommendations of the committee were adopted as resolution of the House, subject to amendment proposed in respect of the recommendations. Thereafter, we proceeded to take the report in respect of the complaints against S.O. OMOLE Mrs., the marriage registrar of ETI-OSA local government, IKOYI OBALENDE local government development area. The report was appreciated by everyone, and the recommendations of the committee were adopted as the resolution of the House, subject to subsequent amendment made in respect of the recommendation. Mr. Speaker, I wish to state that that is what transpired at the committee of the whole. Thank you.
Honorable Tobu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to affirm that that was the true recap of what transpired at the committee of the whole. Thank you.
Honorable Makinde.
I'd like to confirm the affirmation, sir.
Those who are in favor say aye. Those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. The majority leader.
Before my last motion for the day, I wish to move that the rule of the House that we suspended earlier to enable us go through this procedure today in English language as against the Yoruba language prescribed for Thursdays. I wish to move that the purpose has been accomplished, so I move that the rule allowing us to speak Yoruba for Thursday be reactivated. I so move.
Thank you. Honorable Suraj.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion as moved by the majority leader.
Thank you. Those who are in favor say aye. Those who are against saying nay, the ayes have it. Olórí ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ tó pọ̀ jùlọ.
Olùdarí wa. Àti ròkun àti rọ̀sà, ó yẹ ká fi ọkọ̀ sí orí èbúté. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí a ti ṣe atótónu fún àwọn ohun tí a yànnàná fún ọjọ́ ìní gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìsọ̀rí ohun tí a máa jíròrò lórí, mo fẹ́ sọ fún àwọn ẹlẹ́gbẹ́ mi pé mo ní ìyọ̀ǹda olórí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin láti dábàá pé ká fi ìpàdé tí ọjọ́ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin rọ̀ títí di ọjọ́ ajé tí a mọ̀ sí Monday, ọjọ́ 7 oṣù tí a wà nínú èyí ní dédé agogo 12 ọ̀sán. Mo dá alábàá.
Ẹ ṣé. Honorable aṣòfin Rashidi Makinde.
Olùdarí, mo yìí láti kí àbá náà lẹ́sẹ̀.
Gbogbo ẹni tó fara mọ́ ẹ sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Àwọn tí ò fara mọ́ ẹ sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. Àwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni náà pọ̀ jùlọ. Ẹ ṣé, a kú iṣẹ́ ni. Mo ní ìyọ̀ǹda olùdarí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin wípé gbogbo wa á pàdé ní ọjọ́ Monday. A fi àdàgbé ètò pọ̀ ẹ̀rọ sí ọjọ́ 7 oṣù kẹfà ọdún tí a wà ní inú èyí. Mo gbéra sọ